This is a Global Original Podcast. As you can hear from the echoey sound of my voice, I'm recording this from the room in which the government keeps its detailed plans for a roadmap to get us out of here. It's completely empty. These are clips from a couple of summers ago, following on from last week when a certain frequent caller of a religious bent called Ken rang in to protest about a naked bike ride in London. And after a bit of rooting around, we discovered what it was all about. That's right. We got to the bottom of it.
Well, let's get back to it.
Apparently, this is the news. The World Naked Bike Ride. Really, it's a worldwide thing. The World Naked Bike Ride protests car culture and celebrates body positivity. Huh. Well, couldn't they protest car culture and celebrate body positivity by doing it with their clothes on? Is that asking too much? Stop shoving your body parts down our throats. Daryl says the naked cycling is legal because it's agreed with the police in advance. The nudity is intended to demonstrate the general vulnerability of cyclists, and also it's a protest about climate change. There's another one tomorrow in Brighton if Ken is interested in watching that one too. Yeah, he'll be able to disapprove of it in person. I'd take your camera, Ken. Barbara says, I do wish you wouldn't answer with the word good every time a caller asks you how you are. They're inquiring about your health. Tell them the truth. Well, it's fair. Would that be better? Okay. Mustn't grumble. I'll say that. Birmingham. Hello, Eileen.
Oh, hi, Nick.
Eileen.
Yeah, just ringing about Michael Gove and his cocaine snorting.
Yeah.
20 years ago, whenever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody really care?
Yeah, a lot of people care.
Blimey.
Well, the reason that a lot of people care is that he is representing a government that puts a lot of people in prison for doing the exact same thing that he's just admitted to.
Yeah, but surely what we really care about, Nick, is that we've got this hideous, monstrous little gargoyle that might become PM. I mean, surely that's what we're focusing on, isn't it?
Gargoyle?
Oh, grade test school of them. Oh, God. Oh, Nick. Can anybody bear it, really? How many is it now? 12, 14? Gone down to 12.
Eileen, back off the phone a couple of feet. It sounds like you've got the phone in your mouth.
Oh,
These things should come with instructions. Yeah, a couple of feet away would be good.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Very loud and dramatic.
Yeah, you are. Gargoyle, you say. Well, as long as you don't say anything controversial. All right, thanks a lot, Eileen. 0345 6060 973. Yes, it's pertinent, and yes, it's shameful. And it's not shameful that he took cocaine. The shameful part is that he is part of the system that puts people in jail for taking cocaine. Let's have, who's been waiting the longest? Southend. Hello, Chris.
Good evening, Nicholas. I was going to say, this Tory leadership debate, it's turning into The Apprentice now, in a way, really, isn't it? Because you've got, there's only about 3 more, and then it'll be 15, won't it? And that's exactly the same number that's in the, is it 15 The Apprentice or 12? Well,
I've never watched that stupid You're Fired show. Why would anybody waste their time watching that stupid You're Fired show?
Because it's entertaining, that's why, Nick. But yeah, I think it's going to turn out. I think perhaps we should. He is a lord now. He is Lord Sugar. So perhaps he should be the one that whittles them down and says, right, you're fired at the end, or you're hired to the man or woman that's successful.
Yeah, well, why don't we just skip the middleman and go straight to Donny, because he wants to be running this country. He has already stuck his oar in about who should be the leader of this country.
Yeah, but come on. But Barack Obama stuck his oar in a little.
No, he didn't. No, he did not. Barack Obama never told us who we should have as our leader.
Well, he didn't tell us who we should have, but he did say that we'd be at the back of the queue for a trade deal.
Because he was asked to say it by David Cameron.
I think this is nonsense.
Well, I'll tell you what, David Miller was on earlier, and he was damn right about David Cameron. God, he was useless, that bloke. He was dreadful. And
well,
it's like
if we ever need you, David, we know where to find you. You'll be in the shed where they keep the tools.
Yeah, well, there you go. But the thing is, though, I'll be honest. I mean, I think during my university days, I did kind of flirt with the idea of, possibly going into politics. This is going back 12 years.
I thought you were going to say going into pot. Politics.
No, I didn't come across that.
You didn't come across pot at university? Which university did you go to?
Well, Tory front runners are into pot, so perhaps it would have hurt my chance to get into politics.
You never came across pot at university. Which one did you go to?
No, I never came across pot. I'm just saying.
Answer the question. Which university did you go to?
I went to Essex University.
Essex University, and you never saw anybody taking pot?
Want to score some pot?
Okay, then.
They probably were, but I just never came into contact with myself.
Okay.
But no, what I'm saying, though, is that I think that, if anything, life has taught me probably that politics it's just something you should avoid a barge pole, because the problem is, you see, is I just do generally think that the system we've got just simply isn't fit for purpose anymore. I mean...
Well, which system? Which one are you talking about? Unelected leader answers to an unelected head of state, and we have an unelected second chamber, the biggest in the world outside China. Is that the democratic system that you're talking about?
Well, it all really... I was more referring to the voting system, first past the post. I mean, you can have a party that gets... I mean, look at the SNP. They got something like 1.6 million votes, and yet they got all those seats in Parliament, whereas UKIP, as much as I don't like them, but they got 4.5 million votes. They won member of Parliament all those years ago. And to me, I just think that really, all those years ago when Nick Clegg had that vote on, it was the alternative vote versus the system we've got now. Mm-hmm. The alternative vote, to me, wasn't a good alternative vote. It should have been between what we've got now and proportional representation. And I think, personally, if proportional representation didn't win, it certainly would have come a lot closer than the vote we had.
Right, it would have come second, as in lost.
Well,
but maybe if you didn't get the result that you liked first time round, you should have a second referendum.
We should have a second referendum.
How does that sound?
Well, yeah, we should have. Well, bear in mind, we might have a second EU referendum. Why not have a second referendum on the voting system? And I'll tell you what, lots more people would want it changed now, especially after what they know.
I bet people couldn't be bothered to get up off their sofas to go down to the polling station. That seems to be the lesson that we've learned over and over again. Doesn't matter how much publicity it gets, doesn't matter how many people keep talking about it year after year after year. The one thing that we've learned is that people just can't be bothered to vote.
Well, maybe they should do what they do in Australia.
Exactly. I've been saying that for years. It should be the law, punishable by, not death. I mean, that's maybe going too far.
Yeah,
punishable by being sent into the corner to think about what they've done. And people should take this with them.
Well, Kev, we're not Saudi Arabia, but...
No, exactly. I want to talk about Saudi Arabia in a minute.
But the problem is, you see, you've got... there's probably on more categories of MPs, but you've got three main types of MPs. The ones who see it as a kind of next step on the career ladder, the kind of ones who see it as a rite of passage. You've got the kind of social justice warriors, which are kind of obsessed with identity politics all the time.
Well,
and
social justice warriors, as in people who want to spread the wealth around so that it is not so much concentrated in the hands of the 0.01%. Are those the people you're talking about?
Well, look. People who want to spread the wealth around, they're the ones who I support. I'm all about the people more that get obsessed with identity politics. But the third group of people I was saying, and these are the ones who probably you and I don't like, are the business spivs, as I call them, the ones who believe in trickle-down economics, the ones who think that low tax is low regulation.
Yeah, like George W.
Absolutely.
Yeah, trickle-down economics. There's no such thing as trickle-down economics. The poor, impoverished 99% of the world are still waiting with upturned, expectant faces for all that wealth to trickle down all over them.
Don't touch me, or I'll kill you.
That's what the Queen said. 0345 6060 973. Speaking of which, President Donald Trump has posted. I mean, talking of sinners. President Donald Trump has posted what may be the best golf score of his life, an incredible 68. Incredible as in... Liar! Freelance sports writer Leif Skodnick, who that's his actual name, not just something I made up from words in a Scrabble bag. Leif Skodnick discovered the score, which was posted on the USGA's Golf Handicap and Information Network, and refers to a round played over Easter weekend. According to CNN, as in fake news, Donald Trump played at his courses in Palm Beach, Florida and Virginia around that time. So not too busy being the leader of the free world then.
No.
Or too busy watching Fox News to see positive stories about himself.
Negative.
Managed to squeeze in another game of golf. I am stunned. According to golf.com, Donald Trump has never submitted a score in the 60s. His next best posted score was a 70 from 2013. Trump's recorded only a few scores since taking office, despite playing well over 100 rounds. 100 rounds. According to TrumpGolfCount.com, he's played 175 rounds of golf since taking office. What? 175 rounds. And you know what it costs the American taxpayer every time he goes to take a round of golf? $3.4 million. $3.4 million per round of golf. That's according to the Government Accountability Office. If you want to add it up, maths fans, that's $595 million for his golf habit. Hell, it'd be cheaper if he had a cocaine habit. You poor people of America, your phony con artist of a president has spent almost $600 million of your dollars playing games since you voted for him. Are you beginning to feel like you've been had yet?
No.
No. Not even after all that.
I love the poorly educated.
Yeah. They just keep giving and giving, don't they? Donald Trump's score is apparently particularly remarkable for an amateur. Particularly remarkable for an amateur in his condition. Considering the difficulty of the course, which had a 75.3 rating. Now, I have no idea what that means. So, fortunately, I've got a comparison. Long Island's Bethpage Black course, which hosted the PGA Championship, has a 77.5 rating. So very, very close to this course that Donald Trump allegedly posted 68. Freelance sports writer Leif Skodnick wrote, "This might be the best round of golf by a head of state since Kim Jong-il's 38 under par performance with 5 holes in 1 at the Pyongyang golf course." Nobody believes you, Donnie.
Oh, shut up!
Amazingly, his score was 28 strokes better than the last posted score of 96, which came in on last October, on a course significantly easier than the course that he posted a 68 on. In other news, Rick Riley, a former Sports Illustrated columnist who once played around with Trump, said that the president lied about his score, took unwarranted mulligans or do-overs, and even credited himself for other shots. Really?
I'm a person that wants to tell the truth. I'm an honest person.
He lied. Rick Riley said, to say that Donald Trump cheats is like saying that Michael Phelps swims. That's what Riley wrote in his book, Commander-in-Cheat, How Golf Explains Trump. And writing for the Sunday Times magazine in March, Riley claimed that caddies had given Trump the nickname Pele because he would often kick the ball to improve his lie. Pretty sure that's against the rules in golf. Even the LPGA Tour golfer Suzanne Pedersen, who is a friend of Donald Trump's, told a Norwegian newspaper that the president cheats like hell. Fat Donnie cheats at golf. And, you know, his hands are huge and he's a stable genius and a very smart person. He cheats at a game. What does that make Donald Trump?
Donald Trump is not a nice person.
I wouldn't think so, no. Paul says, I believe that naked bike ride was sponsored by Vaseline. Really? I thought it was sponsored by wet wipes. Steve said, what's next with this drug thing? Theresa May actually admitted that the field that she ran through was a cocoa plantation in Colombia, and the very cross farmer was actually Pablo Escobar. Don't cross Pablo. Nina says, each time your producer man speaks with his deep, sexy voice, I experience serious palpitations and become all of a flutter. Can you please provide a warning before inviting him to speak so I can compose myself? Is he likely to join the naked bike riders? Thank you, says Nina. This says, Gove is not a gargoyle because he doesn't eject rainwater from his mouth. That's a fact for you. Well, you don't know that. You don't know that that's true. And Simon says, I've broken 13 of those things banned by religion while listening to you.
Disgusting.
Dylan says, I once drank Calpol straight from the bottle. Can I be the Prime Minister? Finally, someone we can trust. As long as you're not operating heavy machinery, Dylan. Sure, why not? Have a bash at it. It couldn't be any worse than the present incumbent. Poor Mrs. M. Bet she can't wait to kick off her clown shoes and put her feet up. Relax, Teresa, you deserve it. Houghton Regis. I don't believe I've ever taken a call from there, wherever that is. Yvonne.
Yeah. Hi, Nick.
Yvonne.
Just want to put you right about eating prawns and pork and all that.
Yeah.
That was for the Old Testament. That was mainly for the Jewish people. And the
No, wait a minute. We're not only picking which bits of the Bible we like, we're picking which book we like as well.
Yeah. So now the New Testament says we can eat anything we like.
Right.
But the Old Testament was the law for the Jewish people.
Right.
That they weren't allowed to eat all these things like pork and prawns.
Yeah.
They were unclean.
Right. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, come on. You must know that.
No, I don't care. I really don't care, Yvonne. I mean, people pick and choose which bits of the Bible they like, depending on what point depending on what point they're trying to prove. And now we're picking which book we want.
Yeah.
Right.
You've got the old and you've got the new. In the new, you can eat what you like. In the Old Testament, it was for the Jewish people.
Right. Well, I can't wait to read the new one, which will bring everything up to the modern world, when you'll be required to be not only tattooed but pierced in several interesting places.
Yeah, well, you're not allowed to be tattooed in the Old Testament.
I know that. I said that.
Okay. Don't be nasty.
It said in are you kidding me? The Bible is absolutely chock full of people being nasty to each other.
No, but you must know that in the Old Testament...
No, I don't must know nothing at all. I don't care. So
New Testament, everything's done away with and you can eat what you like.
You can do anything you want.
Well,
as long as you're riding a bicycle while you do it, yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
I thought I'd enlighten you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the education. We don't need no educating. We don't need no thought control.
Rock and roll!
Speaking of golf, by the way, have I got time to fit this in? No, I don't. Because Donald Trump spent a lot of time and a lot of effort advertising his failing golf club in Ireland. Did you read about this? Another one of his tremendous failing businesses. Has there been a single business that he's actually been successful with?
I make $400 million a year, so what difference does it make?
Yeah, I don't know where you got that figure from. I think you probably just made it up. He's also designing the new warships that America is going to be commissioning. Did you read about that? Is there anything this man does not know about?
I know a lot about wind.
Yeah, well, that comes from eating fried food out of a bucket, Donny. But apart from that... Steve says, I have no objection to people naked bike riding, but I'm a bit concerned now because I'm buying a bike on eBay. Don't do it, Steve. You don't want to buy a second-hand bike unless you can prove where it's been and who's been sitting on it and in what condition they were when they were doing it. I've tried walking. Better, safer.
And the Health Secretary is the latest in the Tory leadership race to admit to taking drugs. Matt Hancock said he smoked cannabis as a student. Others in the leadership race have also taken drugs. Michael Gove, who took cocaine more than 20 years ago. Andrea Leadsom, who smoked weed as a student. And the International Development Secretary, Rory Stewart, who once took opium. LBC weather. Any rain should clear from the south to leave a mostly dry night. Remaining overcast for Scotland and Northern Ireland with a few light showers. Lows of 8 degrees.
Nick Abbott on LBC.
What number are you calling from?
Thanks for asking. It's 0345 6060 973. So Matt Hancock is the latest Me Too. Yeah, I took drugs. This seems to be the opposite of what normally happens when they say, oh, no, me? Who, me? Oh, of course not. Drugs? What are they? I mean... Are there any members of the Conservative Party who are currently vying to be our next unelected leader who have not taken drugs in their youth?
No.
Or recently? Does anyone want to put their hand in the air and admit to having taken them recently? No, I didn't think so. Oh, it was, when I was young, and it was an accident. I tripped and fell into a bag of it. Why don't we just skip to the part where we elect Bez, the tripping dancer at the Happy Mondays?
Rock and roll!
Here's a call in Eltham. Hello, Terry.
Hello. It's about Michael Gove.
Terry, can you back off the phone a couple of inches?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just that...
Couple more inches.
Okay.
Yeah. A little bit more.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, try there.
Yeah, it's basically he was Justice Secretary, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
So I remember him touring prisons, and many of the inmates probably taking drugs and all the rest of it.
Yeah, that's why they were in there. And if they weren't in there for that, then they certainly started taking them after they arrived.
Yeah. So he must have. I mean, he's just an utter hypocrite, isn't he?
From 2015 to 2016, he was our chief punishment officer. Yeah, and I wonder how many people went to prison for taking cocaine on his watch during that time.
Yes, I mean, I'm quite depressed about it, really.
Well, don't be depressed, Terry. You going to be okay?
Well, I think I'll be okay, yes. I mean, I remember a couple of weeks ago, poor old Diane Abbott, the Labour MP, she got a coating for drinking a vodka premix, an alcohol premix in the tube.
That's right.
That was front page news.
It was, yeah.
I mean, she got slaughtered for that, and
well, the right-wing press have been trying to bury Jeremy Corbyn and anybody in his orbit since the moment that bearded weirdo, which would be their description, came. He hoved into view. From that moment, they've been spraying him with ire and trying to bury him, trying to sink that ship.
Yeah, it's. I just can't believe it, because I mean, they sort of. These MPs who get done, they sort of exonerate themselves and say, it's 20 years ago.
Foolish
so
indiscretion of youth.
Right,
yeah. Well, listen, Terry, have you not learned? Don't do as they do as they say.
Well, that's true. That's their attitude, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they're much smarter than the average bear, and they can handle it, but, dopes like you and me, we couldn't possibly handle it. But they can. But we can't. But they can.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Don't be depressed, Terry. Cheer up, mate. It might never Oh, no. That's right. It already has. 0345 6060 973. Damien says the car industry is already dying. Is this in relation to something I was mentioning earlier on? About manufacturing or about our trade with America? Manufacturing is down, by the way.
Oh, no.
Yeah, apart from everything else. Maybe I'll talk about that in a minute. Time's running out. Manufacturing sector is in the doldrums in this country. Investment is down. Hiring is down. Depression rules the sector. But at least it's got nothing to do with Brexit. In other news, it's got everything to do with Brexit. The manufacturing sector has been paralysed by the uncertainty surrounding the date of Britain's departure from the EU. Investment's been collapsing. Export customers switching away from the UK. That's according to research by the trade body of the manufacturing sector, Make UK, who are made up of experts in possession of facts, so no one is remotely interested in everything they have to say.
Correct.
It's all about feelings now. And how is the manufacturing sector feeling?
Dreadful.
We had an artificial boost a little while ago that was trumpeted by the usual Brexiteer ultras as proof that we're doing better than ever, our glorious exit just around the corner. But you know what that was? It was companies stockpiling ahead of the anticipated departure from the EU, buying a lot of goods and materials ahead of time in order to avoid any disruption or price increases. So it looked as though things were healthy, but they weren't. It's a blip. It was a bubble. Bubbles burst. And they did that to ensure against disruption and, all the rest of it that is coming our way with Brexit. But it's unwinding now, revealing the full impact of Brexit on that sector on which we rely, manufacturing. I can sum the sector's opinion on its current malaise in one syllable. Shooters Hill. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Nick. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Cool. I found a magnet today, Nick.
You found a magnet?
I did indeed. But it doesn't work, I'm afraid.
How can a magnet not work?
I have no idea.
Well, do magnets run out of magnets? Magnetising juice?
I don't know. You'd have to ask...
A scientist?
Yeah, you'd have to ask a scientist, Nick.
Get that hippie off the telly on the phone and we'll ask him.
Oh.
So, you found a magnet, but it doesn't work?
I'm afraid not.
But But magnets don't run out of juice, do they?
It depends on how long you've had the magnet for, I suppose.
But it doesn't, though.
Oh, do you not?
Well, I don't know that this is true, but because I've said it out loud, it becomes a fact. Magnets don't run out of juice.
Oh. Well, that's interesting to know, Nick. Thanks very much.
But, I mean, it's also a fact that we only stick to this planet rather than flying off into the atmosphere because of magnets, Chris. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But
I mean, think about it. We're flying through space at 86 million miles an hour. That's also a fact. And if it weren't for the magnets,
right,
we'd fly off into space. Isn't that incredible?
Well, you've educated me this time, Nick.
Well, fortunately, you called, Chris.
I know.
If there's anything else you'd like to know about the universe and everything in it, then make your first call to me. I'll set you straight. This anonymous message says, magnets lose 5% of their power in 100 years. Fact. Well, I'm sorry, but we're no longer interested in facts on this show. I feel that they don't, therefore it becomes true. We're all about feelings now, baby.
Groovy.
And this message finally says, maybe all the Tory candidates for PM should get drug tested when nominated. Yeah, if they don't have any in their system, then they're out. And that's it. If you subscribe to this podcast, you'll find the next episode gets squirted up your life as though by magic on Mondays. And don't forget the podcast to do with Carol McGiffin called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, in which the delightful and often wrong Carol McGiffin and I try to solve people's problems while maintaining a straight face. If you would like us to have a bash at your issue, send it to the following address, nickandcarol@global.com. That's nickandcarol@global.com. And prepare to be completely satisfied. There's also the podcast to do called The Whole Show, which is, as it sounds, the whole show from my stint on the radio with the news and the ads stripped out, so it takes less time to listen to. You'll use less electricity, and Greta Thunberg will want to be your friend. And I'll be back on the radio Friday, Saturday, Sunday night at 10. And until then, LB, seeing you.
Bye-bye.